Hey guys, welcome to the Go Get Her podcast. I am your girl, London Brits, your extraordinary host. I have a special guest today, very, very special, my little sister, Sierra. And we're getting into a topic today that we can both relate to. So I'm so excited to get into this conversation with her. And pretty much we're going to be talking about us both leaving home. Not really, well, she left home. I didn't have an option. Well, I had an option. I had an option. Yeah, I had an option, but both technically we both are far away from home and living on our own. So we're just going to be talking about, the process of that and the transitions that come with that and how it affected us both. So I want to introduce my special guests. You can tell them a little bit about yourself and then we'll get into the conversation.
Everyone, I'm Sierra. I'm Alina's younger sister. I'm currently 23 years old. I'm a Virgo and I currently reside in South Carolina.
You get old, girl. Oh my
Yeah.
But yes, so I'm just excited to talk about this with you. Obviously, we talk, so I know a little bit about how this transition has been from you from moving from our parents' house to now living completely on your own. Well, first question I want to ask you is how is it going? How is it going being on your own? It's really nobody to answer to. It's all up to you. You're coming home. It's not, why didn't you do this? And why didn't you do that? It's literally, if you left a mess, you got to clean it up yourself. Ain't nobody going to tell you to clean it up. So, like, how has it been now that you're on your own? You're a little bit settled in now. How's it been?
Things are going well, surprisingly, but I would say I had to become accustomed to transition prior to this move. So the transition aspect of it wasn't the hard part. I think the hard part was being in a new city where my friends are not near, my parents are not near, there's no family, there's nobody that I can call on, there's nobody's house that I can go to if I don't have no mayo or no sugar. You know what I mean? I think it was more so that aspect and not only me being in a new city, I had to move into my apartment for the first time ever. I'm starting a whole new job. So everything was just so new. But I think so far, I've been here since I would say like the last week or so of August. So roughly about 2 months or so. And things have been going well. You know, it's an adjustment period. Every day is not a good day. But so far, so good, I would say. I think, I'm finding my village. I'm putting myself in uncomfortable situations to talk to random people, go to places that I may not have gone before, say something where other times I just see them next time, but you don't know who you're going to encounter or when you may encounter them again. And so
Yeah.
it has been a process because it's not more so just about the move. It's about being uncomfortable. It's about learning who you are. It's about choosing who you want to be in this world and how you want other people to perceive you. And I think that is more. I think those are the pros that come with this situation. Of course, I don't have to answer to nobody. Can buy my own groceries and cook how I want to cook and leave dishes in the sink overnight if I choose. Things of that nature, of course. But I think the growth process, it requires a lot of growth. And on the
Yeah.
surface, it's like, oh my God, I'm moving to a new city. It's so exciting. But it's hard, very hard. And yeah.
So I do want to piggyback off, you said not every day is a good day. So
Mhm.
on those days where it's not the best,
Right.
you're probably feeling overwhelmed. You may feel like, oh my gosh, like it's just me. Like you might feel lonely, like it's a new city, like you said, you don't have family around, it's no friends, it's a new job. So you're not cool with your coworkers yet to the point where you're like, girl, let's kick it. So
Mhm.
how do you deal with those days? What are things that you do to like help you with your mood or help you get out of those like overwhelming feelings?
Sure. I would say, first of all, I have a very strict, my friends say that all the time, girl, you run a tight ship. I have a very strict routine. I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna go to the gym. When I come back from the gym,
Mhm.
I have a very good routine. So I think having that routine gives me some sense of stability. So
Yes.
that helps. The gym is a great escape because not only am I working on my body, but I get to like zone out, kind of be in my own world, process my
Mhm.
thoughts, whatever the case may be, right? And then also, when I wake up in the morning, I start most mornings off where I don't have the energy to motivate myself. I'll put on a morning motivation. I'm listening to the Les Browns, the Inky Johnsons, the Eric Thomases, the Lisa Nichols. Those people off the top of my head, but I'm listening to those. I'm feeding that energy energy into my day before I get my
Yes.
day going. And then on the days where none of that is working, I get on my knees and pray. Because God, what are we doing? But when I'm talking to God though, when I am talking to God, I'm trying to be intentional, right? Like, God, please show me why you have me here. Keep my heart posture to remember why you brought us here. Why did I, you know what I'm saying? I'm living in one of the prayers that I prayed for, and I just needed to manifest in a way that I could understand it, in a way that I could see it. You know, give me the strength to continue to push on, because this is just the beginning of my journey. And
Yes.
so yeah, all those things are all the things that I would say that keep me all right. Maybe it's not so bad, you know. Definitely the routine. The routine keeps me sane, because other than that, I'm just waking up and living, and it's like, oh, then you start overthinking, and things can spiral out of control. And so the routine really does help me. But those morning motivations definitely do help me as well.
I think that's a good point because me, it was kind of the opposite. Like when you guys first left, I was 19 when my
Mhm.
family moved to Virginia, and I stayed back to follow my dreams and go after, what I wanted to do. And I had a routine because I was still in college. So I would, go to school, and I was working while in college. So I would go to school, I would go to work, go home, do my homework, which my homework was sewing. Like, it wasn't just like writing essays. My homework was literally making garments. So for me, it was kind of the opposite. Like, I would get tired of the routine. I'm like, okay, this is like, I just feel like robotic. I'm doing the same
Right.
thing every day. Like, God, like, did I stay here for this? Like, is there more?
Mhm.
So for me, it was the opposite. Routine kind of did not help me. Routine kind of put
Right.
me more in a funk. Like, dang, is this what I stayed here for? Because I'm used to like spontaneous, hanging out with my friends, doing this, doing that. I completely lost my social life for sure
Mhm.
because now I'm on grind mode. I'm on survivor mode, literally. Like, it's just me here. So I gotta make sure I gotta go to work. I gotta make sure I'm putting in all the hours so I can get my exact paycheck to pay my bills. Like, like calculating, okay, if I do this much hours, I could pay this and that. So I was in survivor mode. So I wasn't really having a social life. So being in that routine and not having like a escape was
Mhm.
overwhelming for me. So I think that's important that you pointed out, like having those motivational videos that you listen to early in the morning. Like, it's just exciting to see that you're doing that, like you're really doing the thing. You're really doing the
Mhm.
thing.
Mhm.
And you're a little bit older than me when I first became home. So, obviously that plays a part. But I'm just so proud of you. Like, really, really proud of you. Because that's important. That is important. Because me now at 30, I start my days off when I'm driving to work or taking the kids or whatever, just starting my day off either listening to a sermon or, God, yes, we want to be spiritual, but God is practical as well. So I balance it, like not just sermons, but also regular podcasts, regular YouTube videos, things like that, but things that I can learn from and that'll tap into me and help me like, oh wow, that really hit the soul. So
Mhm.
I do think that's important because it kind of sets the tone for the day. But
Yeah.
it's good to see both. Like, routine works for you, but routine didn't work for me.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that's really good. I
Before
think
we
that's
go to the
really
next
good.
question, I did want to piggyback off two things you said. I want you to put a pin in the survivor mode, because I'm gonna come back to that. But
Mhm.
also, like I mentioned earlier, I had to adjust to transition at I believe I was 14 years old when we left New York. So I'm leaving middle school and I'm transitioning to Virginia again, new state, same kind of situation I'm in now, except for the fact that I'm in middle school and transitioning into high school. And then not only that, I left for college. And in college, I took a route that nobody has taken thus far in our family. You know what I mean? And so I think in college, the routine came. That's when the routine became a thing. That's when, okay, when I started getting more involved socially in college, on campus, when I joined a sorority, these things, there's certain things that have to get done. I still have a job. At my senior year, I had 3 jobs. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? There's still a lot of things. So I feel like because you're saying when you were 19, the routine was too much. But I feel like my routine came into play because I had so much to manage while in college. And so it
Right.
wasn't necessarily oh, I want a routine, I want structure. It was kind of like, okay, we have to plan it out, or something's not going to get done, something's going to get turned in late, or something of
Yeah.
that nature. And so having a routine is really helped me. But I just want to say that because like transition is hard, but it's something that I had to. For me, it's not about the transition. It's about what happens when I get there, right? Because when we left New York, I didn't know what to expect. Who knows what's gonna happen? Who knows what these
Right.
people are gonna be like? I had never really seen a high school in Virginia to know like the level of diversity I was gonna be introduced. I was culture shocked, nonetheless.
Yeah.
So I've experienced that already. And so me going to college, I really wasn't afraid of leaving. I was afraid of what's gonna happen once I get here. What is
Yeah.
that like? How do I adjust? Now we're talking about school, we're talking about loans, we're talking about this. Like there's so much more that comes into play.
Yeah.
And then like COVID happens, that's another transition within
Oh my
itself. So
gosh.
I'm so used to going home for a certain amount of time. I'm coming back, this, that, and the third. COVID happens. We have to go home, but then a year and a half later, we have to adjust to coming back. But when we come back, it's nothing like what we were introduced to before. We're in a COVID
Yeah.
campus where there's a lot of different, right? So transition is not hard. So me moving wasn't the hard part. And I think that was so crazy for everybody when I told them, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna move in 3 weeks, girl. They're like, what? It's
Mhm.
like the transition, the packing up and moving, that's the easy part. It's about what you
Yeah.
get
When
here
you get
and
here.
what
Yeah.
happens once you get to your destination that determines really what it'll all be worth. But I did want to piggyback off that survival mode. Going back to me being in college, my senior year, I had 3 jobs. I had this. I was on this team. I was on the all-star team. I'm doing step practice. I have so much
Mhm.
going on, right? But I feel like then I was in survival mode, right? Because I had to have the money by tomorrow. That was my motto. I'm
Yeah.
out of way to get this money by tomorrow. Because the things that I want, I will have. It's not that I want too much, it's that I don't make enough money. So I
Right.
just figure out how do I bridge the gap, right? And so I think me moving here, one of the hardest transitions, like we come from the city, correct? So one of the hardest transitions is slowing down.
Yeah.
Slow it down, right? And so I'm in therapy. I've been in therapy about roughly a year now. And one thing I told her was, I said, what do you do when you have become so comfortable in the chaos? You have become so comfortable with having to have 2 jobs, this, that. I'm always here. I'm always gonna go.
Always moving.
Here, when I moved here, I have so much time where it's like, it's not that I'm not doing everything. Everything is getting done. And so it's like, what do you do? One of the harder transitions that I'm working on now is what do you do when there is no chaos? What do you do when you're no longer having to survive? You have the opportunity at 23. I'm only 23. I have created an environment for myself where I can live, and I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to maneuver in that. I
You
called
can
my
be in your soft girl era now.
I called mom the other day. I said, to put in a job application. She said, why? I said, you're right. I don't know why.
Don't need it. Don't
Why?
need it.
I'm just so, and it's not a need. It's just like, oh, I need to be doing something with my time. And it's like, no, like, and I had to remind myself, I really was about to put in more job. Let me get a second job because I got time. I could just maneuver the schedules and this, that, and the third. And I feel like, no, God brought me here for rest. You asked for peace and this is what you got. It's just that I've never had it. It's so unfamiliar.
Yeah, it's so
It's so
unfamiliar.
I do when it's my day off, and I've done everything. I've cleaned up. I've ordered the.
Mhm.
I went grocery shopping. I've done the laundry. Things are done. So what do you do with your time? That's where I'm able to discover who I am. And those are the moments
Yeah.
where I say, let me Google a new restaurant, or let me go to a new park, or something random,
Mhm.
very random. But let's do something and that I want to do. Let's do something that
Yeah.
makes me happy. And I'm learning to do that now. But my first 2 months here, no, it was a struggle. It's like, what am I doing? I need to be doing something. And it's like, you don't have to be
Yes.
doing something all the time. And
Yes.
so I think that's why the routine is important, right? Because for me now, while I'm working, I'll work a 7 day straight stretch before I have 3 days off. And those days are when I have the routine so that when I have those 3 days off, now it's work-life balance, right? Because I've done everything
Mhm.
throughout the week. I've hit all my days and goals in the gym for the week. So now I
Mhm.
can use my days off literally as days off. And before, my days off were just a day to get other stuff done. And so now
Right.
I'm learning
Right.
how to literally live and not have to be in survival mode, because I feel like a lot of us are in survival mode and don't know if we
Yeah.
were to be moved out of that environment, who would we be? What would we do?
Literally.
I think it's just very impactful. It's very good. And one of the things that I'm really blessed to experience is that now at 23, right? Because at 23, it's a lot. It's a lot to take on. Because like, what do you mean just live? What are you supposed to do? But
Mhm.
also, I feel like it's a pivotal time because my mind is so fresh. I come up with new ideas every day of things that I can do and how I can grow and what I can do to further my life and things of that nature. And some days it can become overwhelming because like, oh my God, I am an adult. Clenches pearls. Like, oh my gosh. But then other days, it's like, okay, you got this.
Yeah. Yeah. And oh my gosh, and not clenching the pearls. Oh my gosh, I'm an adult. Oh my God.
Yeah,
That should be the name.
That needs to be its own episode.
That should be the name for this. Oh my gosh, I'm an adult. But no,
Don't grow up, it's a trap.
huh?
I said, don't grow up, it's a trap.
It is a trap. It is a trap. And that, well, you know what? I'm gonna put a pin in that because there's something I wanted to ask you about that. But what I
Mhm,
did want to ask was you mentioned that this is, something you prayed to God for and you got it,
mhm,
right? So
mhm.
being that this was an opportunity that you did want, this is an opportunity that you prayed for, you prayed over, you
Right.
got it, right? You got it now. So do you feel like now you're walking in your purpose? Like, do you feel like you're walking in your purpose now?
I feel like now I'm following God's plan and not my own. And I feel like
Mhm.
while I'm on that journey, I'll begin to walk in the purpose. Because I feel like the purpose to me is very what I've been accustomed to. Oh, I love helping children. Oh, I love mental health and things of that nature.
Mhm.
That's cool here, but it's becoming wrapped in such an unusual way for me. And so
Mhm.
it's some days where it's like, oh, am I really doing what I was called here to do? And
Yeah.
I think God is funny. Like he has a way of making
Don't
sure that
play.
our purpose and the purpose that he has for us, sometimes it might not come. Like I thought I might have came here to impact just the children. And I have
Mhm.
seen within these last 2 months that people are like, oh my God, you're so happy. And it's like, oh, okay. Um, Little things like that let me know like your light is shining in these people's lives in a way that they've never
Mhm.
seen before. You're a
Yeah.
fresh new face, of course, but the way you carry yourself, your aura, this routine that they can't seem to get over, like these are
Mhm.
the things that maybe I'm inspiring other people that way.
Yeah.
Maybe it's going to
Yeah.
work out that way. Maybe it's not going to be me directly. And don't get me wrong, I have a great relationship with my students, but it might not come in the way that I've already seen it before. I
Yes.
think now, but when I came down here, I said, all I have is me and God. And I know that God will make it all right. So I feel like
Yeah.
now I'm walking in God's journey. It's God's plan. You know,
Yeah.
I took my hands off from doing what I thought this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm fresh out of college,
Mhm.
trying to do
Mhm.
the work. No, no, no. God, this is what I need. God, I need the space. I need the environment in which I can discover who I am to be the best version of myself. God, I need peace. And now I have the peace. And it's like, ooh, sometimes peace and boredom become real similar.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And so I feel like now, so to just answer your question, when you said, do you feel like I'm walking in my purpose? I
Like,
feel
do
like,
you feel like a better way I can word it is this is something you prayed for. This is the opportunity you wanted. When you got the
right,
job, we was all like, woo, like, yes, I know you wanted this. So happy for you.
right,
So there's an option, right? When you're there, you're settled in, you're like, it could be, I don't know if I made the right choice. This is
right.
not working out. I don't know if this is it, or this is it. Like, God, I know exactly why you have me here. Like, do you feel like you're walking in that line of, like you said, trusting God? Like, okay, some days I don't know why I'm here, but some days I do know, okay, yeah, you have me there for this.
Um, it's crazy that you asked that because my mind has never thought, oh, I made the wrong move since I've been here. Even on
Mm-hmm.
my bad days, my brain never goes to, oh my God, we should have just packed it up and stayed home. Like, I don't think that. I don't feel that at all. Like, I don't have that mindset. And I think that's because, like you did to go into it, I feel like I'm right where God needs me to be. And even
Mm-hmm.
days where it doesn't seem clear or I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do next. Right now, right here, I know I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I don't question that. I don't
Yeah.
have the thought of, oh well, maybe I am a little too far from home. No, I don't feel like that at all. Like me and you were just talking about like how over the holidays I'm gonna have to travel all over the map to see everybody. But to me, I don't feel conflicted about that. I know that that's
Yeah.
comes with the territory, And so I feel like I'm doing God's work. And
Yeah.
so
I literally, as hard as it was, and I say it was rough. Like,
mhm,
your journey is a little bit different from me. When I
right.
was on my own, I was definitely automatically survival mode, like
Mhm.
for sure. But I never had that thought like, dang, I should have moved with them. I
Yeah.
never had that thought. As hard as it was, nights where I didn't eat dinner because I didn't have money to buy dinners either. Okay, you're gonna have money for breakfast and lunch and not eat dinner,
Right.
or like sleeping in my coat because I didn't have no heat, like literally rough, rough, rough. But I never had that feeling of I should have moved with my family down south. I was just like, I'm gonna make it work. I know I'm supposed to be here. Like, I'm gonna make it work no matter what. I have to find a way, hustle mode, grind mode. Like, just I always had that. I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna figure it out, So that's why I asked you that, because like I said, it could be that, like, I don't know. Sorry, y'all. I'll edit that out. But it could be like, what in the world? Hello.
It's just saying that we have 53 seconds left. So I don't know if you want to. Well, I'm lying. It says we have 9 minutes. I don't know. Whenever it gets down low enough, you want to just cut it.
Where do you see that at?
At the top, it says
Oh, I
comment.
see it. Okay. I see it. Okay. But yeah, you can have that feeling like, things aren't going right or whatever. It seems like to us it's not going right, but God will do things for us to kind of grow and learn and character build. But to us and me, like, okay, no, this is not going right. This is not what my plan, I'm out of here, or I should have stayed home. So that's why I asked that. Have you ever felt that? But I'm glad that you didn't. I'm glad that you're
Yeah,
working
I'm
through
gonna
it.
say it's something to say about that when you don't have when your mentality never switches to let me just go ahead and move. Because there are people who don't have relationships with God and don't have that crazy faith to believe that
Mm-hmm.
out to see it through. There are people
Yeah.
who, when they get here to South Carolina, leaving from Virginia, but originally from New York, it's like, oh no. Oh no, this is not it. You know
This
what I
is
mean?
not it.
It's not something that everybody can do.
Yeah.
It's not something that everybody can do. But having that faith to know, like, okay, God, we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna
Mm-hmm.
do this. And so it's something to say about that. That our mindsets, both of us, have never shifted from I'm gonna stay here and do. We're gonna stand on business. Like I said, I was
Yeah.
doing to do it. I'm gonna see it through because it's something to say about that. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
were 18, I'm 23, packed up and moved so far. You know what I mean? It's something to say about even having the courage to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. That's good. I have another question and then we can wrap it up. I did good because I didn't look at my phone until the third question. Look at me becoming an interviewer. But let's see. Okay, I asked that. Asked that. Oh, okay. Um, oh yeah, I pretty much asked everything. I asked everything within other questions. So the last question is you answered a little bit, but like how do you spend your time now besides work? You're a little bit settled in, you're a little bit cool now with your coworkers. So how do you spend your time? What are things that you do with all this time you have now, your leisure and like you said, boredom, peace. It's like it's a blurred line. So how do you spend your time now besides work?
Sure. So outside of work, again, like I'm in a new city. So I'm always on TikTok, Instagram, trying to find new restaurants to try, new places to visit,
Mhm.
things of that nature. So I'm always trying to explore the city and find like little hidden gems.
I
So
like
I do
that.
that. And also, like I said, like I've been so used to like getting so caught up in the chaos that like I forgot that I'm a very talented human being. And like I've been writing poetry since like maybe I was like 8 or 9.
Yeah,
And
I gotta
so,
hear her poems. Be math I am.
so now what I'm doing is working on a poetry book because I'm too shy
Mm.
right now in this season of my life to do it overnight. But I feel like, God didn't give me this for no reason. We need to put
Right.
poems to the world. We need to get the world out there. It needs to hear it. And so right now I'm currently working on a poetry book. I'm trying to figure out how I want it to go. But it's real easy. It's not hard. And it's something, and I think that's crazy, right? Because how are you working on a book and it's easy and you've never done it? Right? Like that lets me know I'm doing
Mhm.
what I'm supposed to do. Like,
Yeah.
but nonetheless, I'm working on a book right now, so that does take up some of my time. I don't let it overconsume me, but definitely putting my talents out there. Again, getting to know people, hanging out with my coworkers,
Hmm.
hanging out with the people that I meet, trying to, just explore, like learn more about myself. I went
Yeah.
to the Nobles for the first time. Sorry, but I never was a let's go to the bookstore girly, and so now I'm
Mhm.
in store, learning how to like maneuver through the different genres and just everything.
I think you're getting more in touch with nature now too, because you like go to the parks, you like send us pictures of the sunsets and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
But
like,
that
look at
has a lot
Cici
to do with
getting out at one with the earth.
yeah, that has a lot to do with my environment. Like I feel like South Carolina is where I am in South Carolina is such a beautiful place. And so
Mhm.
I do love going to the gym, but if it's nice enough outside, I will just go for a run in the park. And who am I
Mhm.
running in the park? Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I will do different things like that. So yeah, I'll do different things. I'm looking up different recipes. I'm learning how to cook different things. Um,
Mhm.
so you know, little things here and there, but nothing too like outlandish. Like I feel like I'm just exploring on my leisure time. I'm exploring me first, and I'm also exploring the city in which I live in because, believe it or not, this is going to be home, and so
Right.
I have to become accustomed to that. At first, I wasn't calling it home. I was like, oh, I'm just here at
Mhm.
my house, but I wouldn't say like, oh, South Carolina is my home. This is where I
Yeah.
actually get my address, getting my mail. Oh, I'm doing all the things, but it's not hitting me like this is your home. This is,
Yeah.
and so I'm just learning more about my home, learning more about me, and putting my talents to work and figuring out the ways in which to do that. Yesterday, shout out to one of my homeboys. Yesterday, we went to Bible study. So now I'm getting introduced to a whole new church family who could be
Nice.
church family. But even if I decide to go a different route, even me being introduced to that, going around, sitting around, talking about God, talking about
Mhm.
His work and His word with you who look like me in this new city. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's a great opportunity of a lifetime for somebody who just moved here on their own.
Yeah.
So little things like that. So I know I said a lot, but that's pretty
No,
much
it's okay. Listen, we're doing this because there's so many other people out there that either
it.
are trying to move, they're thinking about it, they might be iffy, like, I don't know, it's this far away from home, you know? So that was the point for me to talk about this because so many people need to hear it. So many
Yeah.
people don't have a sister to call, like, all right, I feel like this today, you know, I don't feel my best, you know, and have somebody to encourage them. A lot of people don't have that like inner circle or village that'll
Mhm.
encourage them, you know, so they may watch a podcast or, you know, watch things on Instagram. You just never know who's listening.
Yeah.
And I for sure think that there's somebody assigned to every episode. Like God, I know that. I pray before I do every episode and I'm like, God, whoever you have assigned to this, I hope even if it's one person, they take away something from this, you know? And I think you gave a lot of gems for someone
Yeah.
who is thinking about moving or who has just moved and they're feeling that feeling of uncomfortableness and being
Mhm.
lonely and confused, you know? So I think this was really, really good.
Yeah,
Really.
and I do want to say that, like, I think it's important to not only have these type of conversations, but also so that people can see that it's possible. Like, we're doing it.
Yeah.
Like, we're okay. We're here. We're striving. We're thriving. You know, like it's not easy. So let's
No.
not put that on there. It's not easy at all. But like, we're doing it. It's possible, and I think people need to see that it is very
Yeah.
much possible to do whatever it is that your heart truly desires. Like,
Whatever it is.
it's very much possible. There's no limitations besides the ones you put on yourself. Like there's always going to be a way to do what you want to do. And so pray.
It's also important that God is in the center of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was just about to say prayer changes things.
Mm-hmm.
Prayer changes things. You never know. If you would have asked me 3 weeks before I moved here, what am I doing 3 weeks from now? I would have never told you I'm about to pack up and move 8 hours away from home. That would have never came to my mind. I would have never even I couldn't even fathom the thought. But
Yeah.
here I am. You know what I mean? And that's God's word. And that's what prayer, and that's when you ask God for the guidance and you allow when you ask God for the guidance and take your hands off. Say, all right, come on, steer the ship
Yep.
because
Yep. I'm just a passenger princess in this, but
yes, please let me know where we're going.
mm-hmm.
I just think it's important, you know, to just let people know that it's possible
Yeah,
and that you can do anything.
you can. I love that. This is good. Well, before we go, is there anything, one gem that you want to leave with the people, sprinkle on the people? Just one, because you know you like
I'm
to give
sorry.
a lot.
No, I think what I just said is something that I want to leave with people. Like, you can do anything. There is no like heard J. Cole do a podcast or only one time where he was like, you almost have to be delusional about your dreams. Like you have to almost like see yourself at the highest expectation and then just figure out the way to get there. You know what I mean? Like you almost have to be a little bit delusional about the fact of who you are and what you can become in this world because there really is no limitation. You can really do
anything.
It's just about how you gonna get there. And that that's something small to a giant, you know what I mean? And so I definitely think it's gonna be, you know what I mean? You can literally do anything, and there's no limitation besides the ones that you put on yourself. Prayer changes things, put God in the center of it, and let God guide your ship. And don't be afraid to let God guide the ship. That's another thing. People ask for things that they're not ready for, or people ask for things that they think they want until they get it, and it's like, oh, maybe not.
Yeah.
And it's like I could have easily did that. Like God, I know I said I wanted peace, but not 8 hours away.
So, what is one thing that you would like to leave with the people? What's one gem that, if they didn't get anything from today's episode, which we can't even say that because we dropped so many gems, but what's one thing that you would like to leave with the people?
I would just say, like, at whatever journey or stage or season you are in your life, is just learn to get comfortable with uncomfortability. Because no matter how much we try to duck and dodge it's inevitable. It's gonna happen. It's gonna appear to us in some way, shape, or form. And once you have to be comfortable in the uncomfortable, nothing will be able to stop you. The sky will really be your limitation. And so, I just want to say, like, growth comes in uncomfortability. And so once you learn to maneuver within that, accept that, understand that it's gonna come and embrace it, I think that's the key right there. If you ever thinking about moving, if you're thinking about transitioning, if you're thinking about starting a business, anything new that you want to do in life is going to be uncomfortable. And so once you learn to accept that and all the things that come with it and learn how to maneuver through it and do what works for you, it's nothing you can't do.
That's good. One gem I will leave is don't focus on the distractions because distractions are going to be there no matter what. The enemy sends us distractions to throw us off. And that's just going to happen with whatever you're moving, work, relationships, friendships. Distractions are going to come. It's meant to throw you off of your game, right? But we have somebody who we can lean on for anything, and that's God. We can lean on him when we're confused, when we're lost, when we're sad, when we're happy, all the things, we have him to lean on and talk to. And he wants to give us the grace. Like he wants to help us. He wants us to be prosperous in this life, but we have to go to him. He will give us all of our desires if it's in his will. If it's not, that's for us to, like Cici said, get comfortable with the uncomfortableness, and our plan is not always going to look like how we want it to look. It's God's plan. As she said earlier, we're following God's plan, and that's not always easy. But don't focus on the distraction. Just focus on the silver lining and the positive that is happening in your life. And yeah, I think that'll help you guys stay focused and stay on track. So this was really good. Anything else I want to say? I think that's it. Other than I'm just so proud of you, which I tell you all the time. Keep going, keep pushing. Yes, sometimes the time is like, I wish I feel like I should be doing something, like I'm not on go, right? But get comfortable with that because it is uncomfortable for you. Get comfortable with that because this is what you prayed for, peace. And he's giving you an opportunity to have that where you don't have to be in survival mode, where you don't always have to be on go. You can do things with whenever you want, really, so enjoy that, and especially enjoy that since you are not a mom yet. Especially enjoy that now, bask in it. But yes, this was really good. I hope you guys took something from it, which I know you did. You can give them your social media if you want them to follow you on Instagram. If not, that's okay.
My Instagram, what is my Instagram? Oh, it's Cierra C. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, guys, thank you so much. If you're here to the end of the episode, we thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Thank you for watching. Bye.